All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. I'm getting some of my, timings confused. I feel, even though I haven't been on the East Coast for such a long time, like it's crazy to think like, oh, somebody's like 3 hours ahead of us, or over there in Europe, they're like 8 to 10 hours. Like it's trippy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy how some people are waking up right now and it's morning and you're just like, what the heck? That's crazy. But yeah, so make sure you tune into the wrestling show, the GSMC Wrestling Show, with your favorite wrestling fan of all time, Eric Rodriguez. I'm just kidding. Moving on. So just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw review. We had my WWE NXT preview. It's happening right now. Can't wait to watch it. It's gonna be awesome as heck. So now we're gonna talk about Alexa Bliss and her possible return. I gotta read a couple of articles. Some updates and stuff like that. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears 1,010% of the time. This show is all about keeping the conversation going, keeping the party lively, you know what I mean? Making sure your voice feels heard and part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's the $sign below that chat box. Send in your message, and it's guaranteed to get featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Obviously, your guys' support means a lot to us. Your super chats help us keep the lights on in terms of bringing you even more awesome sports content. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going, keep the party going. Let's make this podcast together bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super, super duper awesome. And yeah, let's make for a pretty awesome podcast. Once again, if the super chat is not your thing, hit up the GSMCpodcast.net, the tips and donations link. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your hot takes in terms of professional wrestling. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show and follow the network here. At the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. So, well, if you do have criticism, it happens. Feedback is a gift. All in all, don't be afraid. Just remember your thoughts are obviously always appreciated. And I look forward to hearing you guys' the chats and stuff like that. So, yeah, don't be shy. Just do it. Make it like Nike and just do it. Just kidding. No, that seemed a little peer pressure-ish. All right. Not here to do that. All right, guys. So we're here to talk about Little Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss. When is she coming back to the WWE? Like I said, I read a couple of articles and it's still unsure. It's still unsure. I feel like WWE is missing out on what Alexa Bliss truly brings to a wrestling brand. To either show she would be on WWE SmackDown, you kind of saw, a lot of the Wyatt Sicks, kind of memorabilia behind Nick Aldis during his interview. And also when they were talking to, oh my God, was it Bianca Belair? Could have been Bianca Belair. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. She just brings so much to the table, and I can see her coming back as a total baby face. Everyone's gonna go absolutely nuts. And another thing that kind of could spark interest, an interesting debate is will she join the Wyatt Six? After being part of a stable with Bray Wyatt, essentially kind of being she kind of turned on him. And then, the whole match with Randy, it was a little funky. It was a little out of this world, but it was just something different. That's the reason why a lot of the people love this Fiend character, the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt. I know I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. Definitely. The moment he came out, the whole Swamp thing and what is it, Cabin Fever, I think it was based off of that horror movie. I digged it. You know what I mean? Then you had Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, then you have Braun Strowman. Like these guys are big dudes. These guys are giant dudes, and they're over here they're doing whatever they want on Monday Night Raw. They're beating up John Cena. I remember, growing up, I was like, what? Just leave Cena alone. Leave him alone. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't that crazy. I actually wasn't the biggest John Cena fan, to be honest. I was, I would hate it whenever he beat Triple H. I hated it when he teamed up with Shawn Michaels. I was like, Shawn Michaels could be super sweet chin music right in John Cena's face, and it was, it was all right. It was decent. Definitely decent. I got a chat from Anthony Mazzano. What are your thoughts on my last three comments? Oh, I haven't gotten any comments. Let me see if something is a matter. No, so far I just got that one comment. That's strange. That's super strange. Hopefully, like recently, here in Southern California, had wildfires for longest time. I was actually out of commission. Didn't have a show for Thursday and Friday because of the Wi-Fi was messed up because of these dang forest fires, and it kind of sucked. It messed up my Wi-Fi, man. Spectrum, man. Spectrum. Living in California. You know what I mean? Anyways, so I think it just makes sense. At this point, it just makes sense that Alexa Bliss, I don't really feel like she has any other angle to kind of go toward except for kind of going back to what the Wyatt Sicks were kind of doing. It's my idea is that she comes back as a babyface. She kicks ass, she takes names, and then eventually she starts to be stalked by Bo Dallas and becomes a target. Eventually, she gives in. She becomes part of the Wyatt Six, and only if Nikki Cross is truly Sister Abigail or Abby the Witch, and you guys all saw Alexa Bliss had that doll that she carried around so damn much. I can see Nikki Cross kind of being like a sidekick, kind of being her doll, someone that she always wants to protect. If you watch AEW Dynamite, kind of the storyline they had with Tony Storm and Mariah May, where Mariah May was like Tony Storm's baby. Every single time she was in trouble, she would be like, "Hey, don't touch my baby," and stuff like that. Okay, now I got a question right here from my man. When we get to Strowman and hold on, let's see. Something is actually kind of we get to Strowman and Reed. Do you think the batch is going to be the first blood last man standing match, three stages of hell for these Titans? I would love to see that. I would love to see a three stages of hell come back to WWE because I'm an Attitude Era guy. I peaked in the late '90s, early 2000s, and I loved WWE 1010%. I feel like these guys fighting that bad blood seems like it makes sense. They need to have a match, and I feel like it's going to kind of be surfaced. I think it's going to be surfaced inside of a Hell in a Cell. That would be crazy. That locking these two monsters, these two titans, as you mentioned before, inside. That would be crazy. Three stages of hell. That would be, thinking of the match. Number one match would probably be a Hell in a Cell. Maybe I doubt they would ever bring back the First Blood match, but that'd be pretty cool. These guys, this has to come to an end. And I think on Monday Night Raw, I don't think that's gonna, that's gonna, come to an end. The First Blood match would be pretty badass. Last man standing seems like, right after the Hell in a Cell match, after they gone through those first two stages, and then they have to, declare a winner. That would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty crazy. And also get a chat for NXT. I understand that it's Randy's hometown, but if he loses to Evans, do you think this is slowly going to turn him into a sadistic Viper persona? Randy Orton, on when he goes to St. Louis, Missouri, that's NXT's second, I believe, second live, well, not live episode, but inside the arena and stuff like that. I think Randy Orton, I definitely think he has a heel turn in his back pocket. I definitely feel like because that's just who Randy is. That's just who Randy is. And right now on SmackDown, baby faces are running rampant. Absolutely running rampant. The LA Knight, babyface. Andrade, babyface. Carmelo Hayes, although he kind of plays the cocky, kind of conceited guy, people still like him. Like if you see Carmelo Hayes on Friday Night SmackDown and he's coming to the ring, going down the ramp, he's still shaking hands with the WWE universe, and I think that's kind of cool. The only true heel right now they have is Solo Sikoa on the Bloodline. So it'd be kind of cool to kind of see Randy Orton, maybe kind of, people are expecting Kevin Owens to, to be the person to attack Cody Rhodes. What if it's Randy? Like, what if it's Randy? 1,010%. What if he, ends up, attacking his Cody Rhodes? Obviously, he's learned a lot from Randy, so I don't think Cody Rhodes would be too surprised that Randy Orton would become a sadistic Viper persona once again. And I think that would be I think that'd be beneficial for SmackDown. Definitely, I believe that 1,010%. He's better as a heel. What can I say? Like, you loved it whenever Triple H turned face, but when he was a heel, you just loved to hate him, and when he's a baby face, you just love to love him. That's something that Randy Orton, I feel like he kind of has. I think we were talking about it yesterday with Anthony right here. We were talking about like how Stone Cold Steve Austin and Roman Reigns, they were in babyface spots, but they never really pandered to the crowd. And you haven't seen Orton really do that since I think a couple of weeks ago when he was with Gunther, and it was crazy to see. You watch that promo. I always assume Randy Orton, he doesn't give an F about like if you love him or you hate him. Doesn't matter. He's going to go out there. He's going to get his WWE Championship always on his mind. And I think Randy Orton also he has a heel turn in him, and he also has a WWE Major title run. I feel like left in him, and it'd be kind of cool to kind of see that happening. All right, so a lot of people are expecting Alexa Bliss to return with the debuting Wyatt Sicks, but it never happened. It never happened. People were expecting to see him, Uncle Howdy instead of Nikki Cross. Maybe you had Alexa Bliss instead, or have both of them. Nowadays, with the WWE Women's Division having a tag team title, it's possible for these two girls to run rampant. Um, so many anticipated returns for WWE Women's superstars in the division. Think about we have Charlotte Flair, we got Asuka, Becky Lynch. She's not injured, but people are expecting her to come back as well, and also the debut of Stephanie McCoy from the CMLL. The former New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Champion. So I think Alexa, she has a lot to kind of compete with here. She's been out on maternity leave since 2023, which is kind of cool. God bless. Hopefully everything's happy and healthy with her family. That's obviously comes first. It was rumored that she would be returning at SummerSlam, but WWE reported that still they had health concerns for Alexa Bliss. Also, they kind of didn't want to steal that thunder from the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns to make his return against and take out Solo Sikoa. Although I really honestly wouldn't think that it would make such a difference, and it would have made sense because Ohio's her home state. I think she's from Cleveland or Cincinnati. I'm not too sure. But that, her debut on SummerSlam made a lot of sense. Made a lot of sense. It was kind of crazy that it didn't happen, as a matter of fact. She could still make a return as a Wyatt Sicks, 1,010%. Don't doubt that whatsoever. After the feud with American Made, Nikki Cross needs a feud. She's not going to feud with Ivy Nile anymore. Like I said, maybe Alexa Bliss comes back as this babyface, kind of like this old Twisted Bliss kind of persona, being like, oh, I'm on this kind of on the lighter side. I don't want to let my demons get ahead of me like what happened last time I was in the WWE. And then she's stalked by Nikki Cross. Kind of, like I said, kind of this feud where Uncle Howdy feels like he has to convert Alexa Bliss to join his crew like she did his brothers. Fightful Select suggests that, that so far they've heard no plan to bring back Alexa Bliss right now on television. And I know it kind of sucks, but, definitely playing the factor well. I definitely like how WWE's being definitely patient. I believe that that's the right move, and she could possibly make a return at NXT. I'm not too hot about the idea. I'm not too hot about it. 1,010%. But someone like a star-studded Alexa Bliss being on NXT would do so good. Do it so damn good inside the women's division. Her and Roxanne Perez could, kind of tear down the house, so to speak. So I believe that could definitely happen. Also on NXT, you have Tatum Paxley, Rosemary, Wendy Chu, all these people with twisted, dark demeanors. that could, maybe couldn't play into a part two. Like that could happen as well. So, maybe like she comes and she debuts in NXT and she tries to take out Kaylani Jordan and kind of become the next or the new NXT North American Women's Champion, which would be cool. Which would be, she deserved it. Which would be, people wouldn't be like, oh, since she debuted, they basically kissed her ass and was like, oh, we'll give her a title. We'll give her a title. No, it's, Alexa Bliss, she's a successful persona inside of WWE. She has all the accolades you can possibly think of. So 1,010%, this girl, whatever, she's a former Raw, former Woman, SmackDown. She's Women's Tag Team Champions, second champion with I think it was. No, I think Asuka was after Nikki Cross. I'm not too sure. She's a women's Money in the Bank. She's won first ever women's Elimination Chamber match. Maybe she makes a return at Royal Rumble. Maybe, possibly, that could possibly be a thing. But overall, like the fans are waiting on pins and needles for Alexa Bliss to return to WWE. But right now, WWE is still kind of holding off, making sure this return lives up to the hype because Alexa, she deserves it. She deserves it. All right, moving on. We have our fourth segment. We got Mercedes Moné receiving special treatment. Oh, in AEW. We're going to talk about it when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.